But no, I really can't think of anything. I mean, y'all, it's pretty much my favorite podcast. I like even the song. Damn song gets stuck in my head.
So stupid. The first time I heard it, I was like, it's so stupid. And then
you guys didn't like it at first.
I know. I'll be getting out of my car and I'll be like, all I want to do is take it. And I'm like, fuck.
Hello and welcome to the Invincible Podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to sit around and talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, and joining me for this very special episode is TJ.
Hello.
And Bill.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Very good. Very excited.
Mm-hmm. TJ?
Yeah, I concur.
So if you know Kirkman, you know that he likes to do something very special for the quarterly issues. So since this is our 25th episode, we thought it'd be fun to make it special. So it's just a coincidence, though, that our 25th episode happened to be a new issue discussion. Normally we also have the new readers or Brit discussions or Wolfman. This actually fell on a new issue discussion, and not only a new issue discussion, but the first part of the 12-part End of All Things storyline that leads to the final issues of Invincible. And not only that, but it's also the return of Ryan Ottley, which is also very exciting. And even though that would be enough, it also happens to be the issue that celebrates the 25th anniversary of Image Comics, making this issue only 25 cents. So
lots of 25s.
Yeah, that's perfect. What are the odds?
And it's our 25th episode.
Our 25th episode, 25th anniversary, and it's a big deal issue, and 25 cents. So cool. I thought that was awesome. So as if that wasn't enough to make this a special episode, we're also going to do a couple new segments, one of which is going to be a little game that we play that you guys can kind of play along with us. We're going to try and guess Invincible characters. It's kind of like 20 questions, but we're only going to give each other 10 questions, and we're going to see if we can stump each other. So we'll see. Let us know what you think of that. We don't really have a name for it yet, so if you can think of a name for it, go ahead.
The more ridiculous the pun, the better. Another segment we wanted to introduce was one that we wanted to do for these final 12 issues, and essentially where we talk to an Invincible fan, just like you. So earlier this week, we got to talk with Beau Pilgrim. He's an Invincible fan with probably one of the best stories I've ever heard that involves Robert Kirkman.
It's pretty great.
So we'll definitely bring that segment on a little bit later after the comic book discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're also going to be doing our first ever giveaway contest where you can kind of win the 2-pack of the minifigures. One is Rick Grimes and one is of Invincible. The mystery packs. We're going to be telling you.
Skybound minis.
Yeah, we're going to be telling you how you can win those closer to the end of the show. So, we'll let you know. Mm-hmm. Stay tuned.
Very exciting.
Stay tuned.
What were we going to say, Bill?
No, lots. It's just a giant-sized episode. So if you guys are usually used to listening to this on a commute to work that's about 45 minutes, well, you're going to have to listen to us on the way back.
On the way home.
On the way home as well.
But that's all right. So before we get into this issue, a couple news-related things. First, the Skybound Mega Box. Bill, you don't know too much about the Mega Box. I told you that Invincible was going to be in it. Did you look it up at all?
I didn't. Not at all, no.
It's this. It's kind of like a loot crate. Skybound does it. It's like every 3 months, so like quarterly.
How long have they been doing it for?
This is the second one.
So this is number 2.
Yes. The first one
Nothing was officially said that he was in it, but his picture's on the fucking box.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the next one, the first one was all like Walking Dead themed, and the theme was Black Friday, and it was all Walking Dead stuff.
I got that too. Still haven't gotten it yet. Mm-hmm. I got a shipping notification though, so it should
you
be
did actually
too.
End up getting that one?
Yeah,
awesome.
I wasn't going to, but then once I caught up on Walking Dead, I was like, why not?
Yeah, and the figure's kind of cool. It's a Negan, but it's solid black. It's kind of neat because they did a Black Friday theme. So this one's theme is Heroes, which on the cover of the box has Invincible. What's his name from Outcast? Rick Grimes, and what was the fourth character? Was it the one from Extremity? Or something. I forgot what the fourth one was. It was just ironic because this box's theme is heroes, and it seems like Invincible's new slogan is being a hero is bullshit.
Yeah.
And Rick Grimes, kind of a hero.
He's the hero of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He's the main character of The Walking
That's what
Dead.
I mean. It feels
He's
like
the hero.
I feel like this box should be called like main characters.
Yeah. There aren't really any heroes in the Kirkman universe really
Right.
anymore.
Everybody's kind of
currently.
anti-hero / vigilante.
Very gray.
Yeah, very gray area.
Yeah.
Even the villains aren't really villains.
So the 4 confirmed things that are in the box are: there's always a Todd McFarlane action figure, there's always a T-shirt, there's always a variant comic book, and there's always a pin. And then it says there's other stuff. Like in the last one, there was those 4 things, but there was also like a Lucille keychain and a Super Fight deck, like a mini deck.
Is it a subscription that
Yeah.
you do?
It's
Or
it's like a loot crate box.
So you can't buy it individually.
You can't
You
buy
have
these
to-
pieces individually.
How
This
much
the
is a
only way to get
subscription?
it.
$50.
Damn.
It's
I
$50
thought it was
for the
60
box.
a month,
I'm pretty sure it's
like
50
for one shipment.
It's $50 a month?
a
No,
month. yeah.
not a month. It's every 3 months. They
But
do
you
it
can
quarterly.
you can
You could
cancel
get
it.
one of them. You don't have to subscribe.
The next one that
So-
I'm getting might be the Invincible one. I
No,
might
the
have
next one
ordered it
is.
too late.
So the next one
I'm
is...
saying I might not be getting the Walking Dead
really?
one because I just
They've
got
been
it
in-
recently.
Yeah, they've been announcing, like they've been counting it down, saying like, hey, this is the last day to get the Walking Dead one. You know, only
Did you
one
get
more
it?
day. I didn't get the Walking Dead one, no.
No, did you get the Invincible one?
Not yet, but I'm going to. I mean, the fact that he's on the box alone. So with my luck, it might end up just being the pin, but I feel confident it's got to be
Well,
the action figure.
there's hope.
It's got to
Right,
be the
there's
action
hope.
figure. That'd be so awesome. And I mean, you know, $60, you get a Invincible action figure, and then, you know, maybe it'll come with a Super Fight deck with some Invincible cards or something else. Maybe either way, it'll be worth it. And this is the only way to get the figure. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty exciting. And this isn't the last time you'll hear us talk about action figures this episode. So also, just want to remind everybody, you can email us. We've got some emails that we're going to talk about later on in this episode. Our email address is theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. You can also message us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is InvincibleCast, or you just search the Invincible Podcast. And as far as podcast platforms, you can find us on obviously iTunes, which we appreciate it if you review us. We read all the reviews that we get on air. And, there's SoundCloud.
Stitcher.
Yeah, Stitcher, Google
We're
Play.
also on YouTube now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, YouTube. I've been working on getting the rest of those episodes out. There's actually some plays on those YouTube ones, which is kind of neat. So that's pretty much it. As far as news goes, we're going to have more to talk about later. We're going to jump right into this new issue. This is huge. This is issue 133, part 1 of 12. This is it. The end of all things. This is the beginning.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So first thing we always talk about is the cover. I don't think we talk too much about these covers, this theme they've got going on. What do you guys think?
I think they're going to be very ambiguous. Like, they've just been showing, I mean, Invincible's in his costume, not in his costume at all. Thrag's on the cover, Thrag wasn't in it at all. Oliver's holding his kids. That's pretty sad. I'm pretty sure Oliver is not holding his kids in this issue. So, I think
Do you like that, though?
I think it captures the tone of it really well. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to capture the overall, like, this is the end. Look at Alan's face. You know?
Yeah.
There's definitely some joy on Eve and Tara's face with, they have something to celebrate, obviously, what happened in this issue.
She's holding flowers.
So,
You're
but
right.
I'm not like a great fan of the cover. I just think that it's okay.
Do you think
know?
that it's the whole theme? Like, the next cover is, Alan with the similar kind
Pretty
of
much the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so part of me, I agree. Like, part of me is a little saddened at the fact that we're not going to see, other than variants, like, any new style covers, like any, like, Thrag with a bloody hand, like something crazy to talk about and speculate. But at the same time, I'm a sucker for these matching covers. Like, the Viltrumite War had it, the Flax on Dimension one had it. Like,
I like connecting covers.
Yes.
I love those.
I like connecting covers too, but for the same reason I love these is because I like when things match. I like, the hardcover collections. I like, the trade paperbacks. They all have similar themes to them. And I think this is exciting. I'm excited to see who's on the cover of the next one and who's on the cover of the one after that.
Right. My issue is,
And-
would you buy this comic if you had never seen an Invincible before?
Oh, I think it's, I don't
Yes.
You think it's eye candy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I think so.
do.
I mean, I'm not bashing it at all. It's okay, but it's not like Invincible holding his broken arm.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
but that's
Conquest.
what I mean. Yeah, we're not going to really see any more of those covers, as from what I can tell.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's cool, and I do like the fact that it's ambiguous, like you said, Bill. Like we really can't get too much from these covers, apart from that character is possibly in it, even though so even that sometimes isn't the case because, like you said, like Greg's on this.
Yeah, and we had no idea that Alan and Mark were going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That altercation was going to happen.
Yeah. So I kind of like that. I mean, you think of the past few issues, like the one with Mark looking at Robot Rex, face to face.
They're going to have a conversation.
They're going to have a conversation in that episode or that issue. So I like this, especially for these last 12. We don't have anything to go on.
Yeah,
it's
right.
really exciting.
You're right.
So, all right, here we go. And we got 2 emails after we recorded last episode, after the fact, both of which might have mentioned that they had wished there had been a little bit more time to mourn Oliver. They wished Mark would have been able to kind of show a little bit more emotion over the death of Oliver. And then we kind of talked about maybe there's a glimmer of a chance that Oliver isn't dead. Well,
he becomes a star.
Yeah.
Which was amazing, and I wanted to cry. This was a great fucking way to start this comic. Like, this is exactly what needed to happen. That's exactly what needed to happen.
It was so cool. Go ahead.
I mean, just how large the memorial was.
Right, look at that.
I mean, look at how many fucking people are there. He is a true hero, and like we all complained. Everybody complained. The emails, the letter column, people responding to us about how quick it was and how there was no emotion. And this, I mean.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, we shouldn't have doubted it. The fact is, like, this whole episode is all emotion. A lot of this is a direct, relation to what happened to Oliver. Almost everything that happens in this issue, maybe everything, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right down to the wedding. Like, everything is kind of because of what happened.
It's all 95% of the context of this is, I would say 100% of it all. Even the wedding, like you said.
So, TJ, Oliver has always been one of your favorite characters. How did you like his funeral, his send-off?
I thought it was fitting, especially with who he was to this planet and what everything that he's done. I think that it should have been big. I mean, look at how many people showed up to this thing. It was
and speaking
outrageous.
of, did you see earlier today? I didn't catch this, so don't tell Bill. Did you see Ryan Ottley?
Yes.
Did that Easter egg?
Yeah.
Bill.
What
in this panel,
what are you talking about?
Do you see?
How do I miss all these things?
There is an Easter egg character on the second page in the crowd
where it shows him kind of entering the thing.
Mm-hmm. Do you see a character in the crowd?
Is that a Toy Story alien?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
a cute little Easter egg.
Wow. So Toy Story, everything that happens in that is canon to Invincible.
Yep. Well. The Toy Story universe
so
and
we're
the
gonna
Invincible
see,
universe.
So we're going to see Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear versus Alan the Alien.
So, and yes, I love we come from the stars, we return to the stars.
To infinity and beyond.
Disintegrating Oliver and like blasting him into space.
I think it was awesome. Even looking at it now, like it's just super emotional. Mm-hmm. Like great job. The tone's great. Like we're finally seeing Mark and Eve break down and cry, and then we get Alan.
I liked Tara looking over at Eve and Mark crying too, because we don't get too much of her in this issue, and I thought that was a cute little.
Oh, we get enough. Oh my gosh, we get enough.
Yeah,
just it's always enough. Like no matter how little she's in here, it fills my heart with joy.
So, the tears are kind of met pretty quickly with Alan, saying something, saying he's sorry to Mark, and Mark doesn't really take that too lightly. So, yeah, he just kind of sucker punches him, and I don't know, TJ, what do you think? What do you think of all this between, with Mark freaking out on Alan at the funeral?
I thought it was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why? We got our answers that we all knew. We called it. You know what I mean?
We had the suspicion that Thrag or Alan was involved somehow, that he knew what was going on. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I liked it. I liked that the fight happened. It was just kind of weird that it happened at the funeral. Mm-hmm. I think I would have preferred it to happen before the funeral. because obviously they're all there. Like, did they not see each other before the funeral, or I don't know. But yeah, I thought the fight was good. I thought everything that was said was good.
Yeah, and Eve, like, you know, and Tara saying, like, is this how it's going to be now? Everyone's just always fighting. And Tara looking awesome, by the way. I really like.
Yeah,
really
like I was just thinking her profile. Like she looks like, and kudos to Ryan Ottley. She looks like a mixture between Eve and Mark. Mm-hmm. Like she really look at
You're
the
right, she does
profile. Look at her
actually look like
profile.
Mark right
Like
there,
she, yeah.
So Alan is kind of upset at the fact that the people of Telestria are able to see him, like their leader, fighting. And Mark's just like, so this is what you care about? You know, how you look in front of your people? So
I think, him just allowing Mark to kind of beat up on him a little bit before he just catches
him.
catches
exactly
his fucking
what I
hands.
thought too, like, So we get we finally get it in writing. You know, Mark tells him, you had Oliver working undercover. You know, he knew, you know, Mark is mad because Alan knew what he was doing. He didn't try and stop him. Alan even says, you know, he volunteered. He volunteered for this.
Right.
But we needed him.
And even if it was a death sentence, like you know, the mission that he couldn't come back from, Alan's even's like, yeah, well, he volunteered for it. He knew what was at stake.
Not only that, but I feel like I know Invincible well enough to know that, like, if Oliver had come to Mark and said, listen, I'm going undercover, I'm going to be a double agent, would Mark had been like, no, don't do this, or would he have trusted his brother enough to?
That's what I mean.
I don't think that if he would have had a problem with it, I think he would have wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, as far as Mark knows, and you know, he doesn't know what Alan reveals at the end at this point.
Right.
I don't think Alan's necessarily in the wrong here.
Not yet.
Not yet. I know.
I don't think he's in the wrong until the end. Really,
we'll
at
get
all.
it. Yeah, we'll
but
get into
at
that
the same
later.
time, I understand why Mark is upset. He may be a little bit in the wrong, because I do think that after all that Mark has done, all that Mark's been through, and everything that he sacrificed, he should have been in the loop.
Mm-hmm.
But it involved Mark. Like the whole Alan, him going undercover was like, okay, yeah, maybe we can, like, I don't know, find out some stuff, some intel. But the overall plan or idea of it was to then get Mark involved. Mm-hmm. And then, because he's the leader and he can get all the Voltrumites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To follow him. But we'll get into that.
I'm saying why Mark is pissed off right now with what he knows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark doesn't know.
He doesn't know that the reason why they didn't tell him was because they were trying to draw him out into the war.
His brother just died.
His brother just died,
well,
and he
exactly
doesn't. He doesn't know why he wasn't informed of this.
I think a lot of this almost this entire, you know, well, this whole fight scene, this whole part of the comic is all emotion based. Like, his brother just died. They're all super upset. So take this next scene. Like, Eve shows up to stop the fighting, and she basically lays into Mark.
I couldn't believe what she was saying to him. But she's so right. Like, she's
like right
so
off the bat.
right.
What is wrong with you? You're scaring our daughter. You know, after everything, Oliver died in front of her. You want her to see this? And then Mark, and I love this because this is classic Mark. And he's like, I'm sorry, but you know what he did? He put people in danger. Mark stops.
You know how persuasive he can be?
Yeah, and then Mark stops and says, I lost control, and I just, like, it looked like he was about to, like, say, oh, you're right.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I fucked up again, like I always do.
Yeah. But no, she, like...
Which brings me to a theory. I think something's wrong with Eve, with the whole regeneration thing. I don't know. It felt weird that she, like, kept attacking him.
No, I think I'm totally cool with that. I think, like, she's had enough. She's had enough of his excuses. Not only, like, she flat out says, you have a temper, you act without thinking, and you just put yourself out there without thinking of anybody else because you get away with it, basically. And she stops him. With her, like, actually using her powers and beating him up, he's not scraped, he's not bleeding, his clothes aren't even messed up. They don't actually hurt each other. This is essentially two normal people, like a girl shoving a guy. Like, she knows this doesn't hurt him.
Going on the record saying that
you think something's off?
Even if that has nothing to do with it, I was thinking about it even before I read this issue, and we didn't really talk about it in the last podcast, but I think that was way too convenient. We talked about the conveniency of them just, like, getting coming back to life and everything being happy and them smiling, there's got to be some kind of consequence there.
You think so?
That's the word I was going to use, and I think that you're right, because
like maybe it's getting to the point where Eve has done it too many times that she's starting to do something wrong on a molecular level.
She could be unhinged. She doesn't show any kind of symptoms of that here, and I think that you're right. I think that if I had superpowers and I couldn't be hurt really by Liz, and Liz got really mad at me, there have been times where we fought where I know that she would just want to just beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, there's been times before where, what was it? She slapped him or something like that, and he barely moved. And there's another time where, he said ow when somebody hit him, and she's like, oh, stop, I know that didn't hurt. Like, she's actually pushing him back. She's essentially shoving him and saying, like, you're reckless. You're doing this to yourself. You're doing this to everyone around you. This is why you're always getting hurt. This is why you're always getting stranded.
Tara grew up without her father.
Yeah.
I've had enough. The best part of this,
that's the killer right there.
You see a little bit of old Alan in the background. Like, was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then Alan, Alan leaves. But Eve Eve doesn't let up. She's Angstrom Levy, Dinosaurus, now Thrag. When does it end?
I couldn't believe, when she kept going, I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna just leave him. She's going to leave him.
And then she says it, like that next part. You're ruining everything, and I hate you for it, Mark. I hate you. I hate how screwed up our lives are. I hate how much I love you. It hurts so bad.
I was worried that she was going to leave him, not from a character perspective, but just from a reader perspective, because it can't happen again.
Yeah,
like seriously, it's happened so many times.
That's why I love this.
That's why when it ended and they were like, "Oh, but I love you," and then they hugged, I was like, "Okay, good," because I don't want to see that happen again. And I think that they know that. So yeah,
it's very realistic. Like the fact that they've had that fight before where they break up, and I love that they've broken up before. They've gotten in fights before,
a couple times.
and she's left him before. But this is very realistic in the fact that, like, if you've ever been in a relationship where you've had a really bad fight and you guys break up, but then you get back together and then you're in love for real and you've gotten through that bad part, you can almost get away with this kind of fight where you're saying,
you can still have the same kind of fights and just like hug afterwards.
Yes, exactly. That's what's happening here. She's saying, I hate you for screwing all this up. It hurts you so bad. It hurts so bad that I love you this much. I loved Oliver too. And then they just hug. Like she's bawling. She's crying during all of this. Like, she's just, this whole issue is like release.
Now, before we were talking about, you said some people didn't like this issue?
There's a couple people that didn't like it.
There were a couple people. I saw a couple comments too, one of which I'll read later when we go over emails and things like that. Just because it's from a very
we'll save that for the email section
yeah.
in terms of what other people think of this. But this is all what we think.
So we'll talk about that later.
Can we talk about Tara now?
Yes, because now this is Tara's scene. First, before Tara, I love how Nolan keeps trying to go up there and get involved.
It's the Voltramite.
Yeah.
Like they need to act.
Yeah.
Protect each other.
Well, but they need to act.
He sees conflict and he wants to go to it.
Exactly. You see conflict, you want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like somebody, you throw a punch at them. And that's the thing that I like about this whole thing is that Mark always gets away, and we always give him credit for taking the blame. Yeah, I was wrong. Wow, I fucked up really bad there. Wow, 4,000 people died because of me. Wow, I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little reckless. And then he was like, no, you need to stop.
Yeah.
You can't just keep fucking up and saying, oops, I fucked up, and then continue to be able to do that. Like, you need to change.
Yeah. And I wonder if part of that change that he's seeing is this whole being a hero is bullshit thing, where it's like, he's not a hero. He knows what he's done. But,
But that allows him to be even more reckless. Because
True.
He doesn't have any,
because he has nothing holding him back.
Right. He has no moral compass now. He's just going to do whatever he wants to do because that's...
And you know what? That might be something. I mean, Kirkman has teased in the past about, Invincible getting, going more towards his Voltramite roots. But, so you want to talk about Tara?
Oh my God. Doesn't everybody? So essentially, Alan picks her up, and we haven't seen an interaction between Alan and Tara since she was a baby, since before Reboot.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? And he kind of has this conversation.
I mean, no, actually, when he's in the hospital.
That they came back.
Oh, yeah. You're...
By no legs, Alan, or whatever.
That's right.
But yeah.
But this interaction was perfect. And him... First of all, giveaway, my eye is sensitive.
Yes.
Very big giveaway.
Right? Like, I read it and I'm like, really, Kirkman? You're going to do that? Foreshadow?
Hey,
come on, dude.
I don't think it's that obvious foreshadow. I think it's cool.
this is something we talked about too, is that since we started this podcast, I've been saying Alan is too strong, Alan is too strong. And then right on the comic where we have a little conflict with Alan, like, oh shit, something else is going on and he's a little devious, they give him a weakness.
Right, to the point to where they made it so his eye is bleeding. You know what I mean?
With a normal headbutt from Mark.
With a normal headbutt. I mean, he was blown up with an atomic bomb. He's had his eye...
Oh, yeah, and his eye was gone.
...out of his socket before.
So it's not... It's just a weak spot.
So
it's not necessarily his weakness.
Right, so if Alan gets punched through his eye into his brain, is he going to die?
Maybe.
Is he going to die? You
That's
think so?
What,
I think that
I don't know if he's going to die, but it's something that's going to happen with his eye for sure.
Yeah.
So he says, so he says, my eye is very sensitive. It doesn't take much to hurt me. You know, I remember a very young little girl who once punched me in the eye, and it hurt really bad. Tara says, really? He says, yeah. That little girl was you when you were still a baby. And she says, cool. And then the look on her face, and Alan looking at you says, Tara.
Like the squint that Alan does.
Tara, I can tell you're thinking about punching me in the eye again. Please don't. She says, sorry. Like, she's so freaking adorable.
She is.
I can't stand it. And she looks so much like Mark.
Yeah. Ah, so cute. This page is
Ryan
gorgeous.
Ottley. Yeah.
Holy shit.
This is the first page where I'm like, yeah, Ryan Ottley's back.
He posted this on his Twitter saying that this was one of his favorite ones to draw.
And Nathan Fairbairn with the colors, like it's gorgeous looking. But this what's that?
Wasn't Ottley the inker on this?
Yeah. Yep.
Ottley inked it.
Ottley actually inked it.
Yeah.
He was the inkist, yeah.
The
you know,
inkist.
what's weird is as soon as this issue started, like right in the beginning, something looked odd to me. And I don't know if it is the ink.
I think it's because we're used to Cliff Rathburn.
Is that what it is? Like it seemed a little rougher?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's
maybe?
just a little different style.
Which is interesting.
And back to Mark and Eve just sitting there, like just showing, like a few minutes ago she was yelling how much she hates him, you know, and now this is this quiet moment. Like this is the fact that like they're in love. This is a relationship, and you know, it was cool seeing that release, and then you know, showing that you know they're still okay. And not only that, but they talk about how, you know, Mark says like he's gonna kill him. He said, just to be clear, I want to kill Thrag. I'm not going to try and stop him.
I'm not going to try and do the right thing. I'm not going to do the right thing. I'm going to kill him.
And he's like, no, we're going to kill him.
She says that. Eve said, we're going to kill him.
And, you know, and this is the first. So if you didn't see the, you know, cover to, I think it was 135, this is the first mention we get of Space Racer out of nowhere. Mark says, I'll have Alan, my dad,
This
Space
infuriated
Racer.
me.
Why is that?
Where the fuck did that come from?
Right?
The last time we saw Speed Racer was the final page.
Speed Racer?
Space
You
Racer.
corrected yourself. You said Speed Racer is the right guy.
Was, I think, the end of 122, and we've been talking about that since we started this podcast.
Yeah,
like,
like,
what
what
happened to
happened?
Speed Racer?
Did we miss
or
something?
Space
No,
Racer.
Are we the only ones in the
And then all of a
fucking
sudden,
world?
like, oh, we also have Space Racer,
So
and I'm like, what the fuck?
He got away?
Yeah, I guess.
Or maybe Mark's
like-
assuming they have Space
It's
Racer?
been years. It's been years.
Wait. Ryan, I think you might be right.
Maybe Mark's assuming
Because the
we have
last
Space
thing
Racer?
that Mark did with Space... Didn't Space Racer go there... Oh, no. He was on his own mission.
He went to go find that location. They got attacked. Mark went to go investigate and fell. And
So
And
he
then
probably...
5 years happened.
Yep.
So he probably just assumes.
And he's been back for how long? Why is he just randomly bringing up Space Racer's name without knowing?
Because he
I
was
think-
part of the
Why wouldn't
core
you be
group.
like, we also have Space Racer? Wait a minute. What? How's Space Racer? I haven't seen him in fucking like 6 years.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What
Like,
I'm
you know
hoping
what I mean?
happens
That's
is
weird.
the next issue, Space Racer's in it, and you know
They, like,
he's
go to
with the
find him?
coalition. No, and they just mention the fact that you know, well, when I fought Thrag or how I escaped, bro, you know, I mean, like there has to be a mention. An issue ended with that scene. If an issue didn't end with that scene,
It wouldn't have been a big
be
deal.
a big deal. But an issue ended with Thrag
Full page.
hovering above.
There
Space
was
Racer.
also an entire issue where Mark goes into the future, and we have been wondering about that and now there's 11 issues left.
But that will be explained.
That will absolutely be explained.
You think it will be explained?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's so big in the Invincible Universe. Like the fan universe. That's all anybody talks about.
I would like to put a pin in this and maybe even place a bet. Unless you guys know something that I don't know.
No, I don't. I just
Okay, I
I still stand by the fact that shape-shifting creature is going to come back. and May be Oliver.
I feel like they cover up ties pretty well.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
We did talk about that.
We'll see.
Not about the ties.
You want to bet that they don't address the future?
I will bet each of our listeners...
Spaghetti monster, I think we call it.
I will bet each of our listeners $1 that they never bring it up again.
No, he's talking about the future episode.
Right, that they're not going to talk about the future episode. Or
the future issue with
I thought
Omni-Man.
you were talking about the spaghetti monster.
He thinks they're not going to bring
No.
up Omni-Man as king.
They've already answered more than half of those.
What?
Yes.
No, they haven't.
You're not still sick, are you? The virus that blasted Mark, the Scourge virus.
Right, but
There's that one. What else did he say? He said, I haven't seen you since you and your family left Earth.
You were much bigger. Like, he wasn't bigger.
You look much... No, you look much bigger than the last time I
So
saw
you think enough of that has been talked
Mark
about?
already has gotten bigger because now he's stronger.
So
now, what about... and then your dad left you as leader of the coalition. Suddenly, since that issue, Nolan's been made leader. The only thing that we're missing, yes, the only thing that we're missing is Mark becoming leader. That's the only thing out of like the 5 things that.
Okay, well, $1 to each of our listeners.
It wasn't him in the future though. So why would he be bigger? It was him from the past,
right?
In the future. So why would he be bigger?
I don't know. We got to read that in. For those of you who are completely lost to what we're talking about, do you remember which issue it was? It was 54.
Wasn't it after the Invincible War?
I forgot which one it was.
I thought it was like 70 or something.
Yeah.
Like 67 or something.
It's the one with the 2 time-traveling twins. Mark goes into the future and sees the Immortal as king, and he gives a lot of interesting information that ends up coming true for the most part, but some of it we're still waiting on. So if you were a little lost to what we were just talking about. But back to this issue, because we've gone on a little bit of a tangent. Eve says that there's something else they want to do before they go off fighting.
Did you have an idea of what it was before?
So, during this issue, when they were fighting, part of me, while they were fighting, Eve hit Mark, and I'm like, I don't like this so much. Like you, TJ, I was like, I don't want them to get in a fight again. But then I liked it when I found out that she's actually just letting off steam, and she's pissed at Mark for all this, and she still loves him, even though she's saying she hates him. And that got me thinking, damn it, they're still engaged. They got engaged in issue 100. And then Mark came back from, that time in the alternate dimension, and she didn't have her ring on anymore, and that's when Mark got raped. And they haven't really brought up the fact, where are they? Are they engaged? Do they still want to get married? So...
This all went through your head right before you turned the page?
No, I've been meaning to bring up... I've been meaning to bring that up, where are they relationship-wise? Over the last few times we've talked, and I just keep forgetting about it. And then when that fight happened, I was mad. But then I saw that they were together, and she said there's still one more thing. I knew it. Before I turned the page.
I had no idea.
Really?
I thought it was going to be something like...
You knew that you were going to turn the page and see the wedding?
I would have bet money, yes. Yep. I've been thinking about that so much. I got married this year. I've been waiting for them to get married.
No, I know. But you weren't expecting him to, look at his ring or something like I felt like it was kind of rushed that I would turn the page and they're at the wedding and they're having a good time when the page before it, Mark is wearing a suit because he just came from his brother's funeral. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It felt a little rushed to me.
Yeah,
It felt there like Kirkman was like, oh shit, they're still engaged. We got to take care of this.
Yeah, after the Alan Tara, humor and them sitting there silently, it felt as though the funeral was over. You know what I mean? There's a little humor with Alan again. That scene was done. These two are off sitting on this thing. I didn't think it was going to cut back to anything to do with the funeral. So, but either way, I mean,
I didn't think it was going to cut back to the funeral. I just think that a funeral and a wedding in the same issue just felt
which is great
quick.
Because the very first thing that's said is Eve saying, "Sorry, the timing is definitely not ideal. I hope you understand why we needed to do this."
And she's totally cool with it. It's exactly what she needed. It's what Oliver would have wanted. I make a prediction, okay, that when Liz reads this issue, she's going to love Eve's hair and her dress. Guarantee it. She's she is going to absolutely comment on her hair.
I don't like his suit at all. I understand it's supposed to be futuristic.
I do. I think it's cool.
Like
not futuristic. It's alien.
I don't like it at all.
Well, that's because you're an alien racist. You don't like any of these aliens, do you?
Whatever.
I don't know if I like the fact that Talia is standing there, whereas 5 issues ago she was pissed at Eve because of what happened between her and her brother.
I mean,
I assumed that she didn't like her, but maybe she was just didn't like the situation. I don't know. So Mark and Eve leave. I like Tara saying, "Mom and Dad are married." So they go off. Are they just kind of going off to a little honeymoon? Is that just kind of what it was? Because they say that they're going to keep an eye on Tara and
probably,
take as much time as you need.
I would assume. I wish we got to see a little bit of it, but.
What do you think of this? So they have rings, and Eve asks for the rings, and she says that we'll put them back on when all of this is over. I don't want them getting damaged, and it'll give me something to come back. And it'll give us something to come back to. And Mark says, "Okay."
It's all foreshadowing, dude. Everything in this issue is foreshadowing.
Anytime they do this in movies, like war movies, like here's my pocket watch. I'll come back for it.
Yeah. Okay, we know you're dead.
That's so is it supposed to be obvious? Like, is Mark gonna come back, alone and pick up both rings, and we're all gonna be crying like 30-year-olds reading this comic because
he's gonna give it. Oh my god, he's gonna give it to Tara.
Like, this is too much. Like,
oh no.
I don't know if it's being kind of obvious as a foreshadowing thing or what, but.
Well, that's probably why
somebody is going to pick up those rings at the end of this, and it's like that as a seed that's planting on this first of 12, because we might not see those rings again till issue 12, and that's crazy. So, what did you think of that, TJ?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's all foreshadowing. I don't know if we really talked even more in depth about what we think is going to happen, but I think. The whole spaghetti monster and reboot, I think that is going to pay the ultimate toll on Mark. I think he might lose everybody. I think he might, you know what I mean? And that's why obviously we did talk previously about how I think that Nolan is going to die, and that I think that Mark is going to leave Earth, as Omni-Man said, in the future, in order to take Nolan's place. Immortal, thank you. Yeah. His place in the Viltrumite army. But I think he's going to do that because he lost everything else and he has nothing left.
Oh, I guess that would be full circle because he is a Viltrumite, right? So he would have to end up leading the Viltrumite Empire because he does have the blood of
Argyle.
Yeah, so all those seeds point to that.
Yep.
So, and then we get the most annoying phrase that I didn't like equally as much.
I don't mind it.
No, absolutely. You said it best. Being a hero is bullshit.
I don't like that either.
Neither
it felt
like that.
Yeah, it felt exactly how I felt. Like,
it felt so corny. Like, yeah, you said that. And it was such a cool moment the first time Mark said it and crushed Anand's head. You didn't need to say it again. Like, it was a little overkill. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm curious to why they're bringing that point home. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Are they making it clear that Mark is, not going to be a good guy in this?
I don't think that it needs to be. We're not a stupid audience. We get it.
I think they're kind of beating into our head, saying, "Hey, they're not heroes. They're not heroes." So that when it comes down to the last fight with Thrag, you're like, "Oh my gosh, they're going to kill him," and then they're not going to kill him because they are heroes. It's misdirection.
Oh, misdirection!
I think it's misdirection.
TJ's right about a lot of things. The consequences with Eve's powers, but I think
I don't know if I agree with that. Though.
I do because all of us, nobody liked that. Everybody said it was a cop-out. Kirkman doesn't do that.
I don't know if there's a consequence or there's just going to be something that stops her next time. Something is going to happen that inhibits her from being able to.
There's got to be some sort of consequence. There's got to be.
Maybe she gets pregnant again. She wasn't able to use her powers last time she was pregnant. There's got to be something stopping her.
From doing it?
From using her powers. I don't know.
Chop her head off.
But that's what I mean. There's got to be a... All right, so the last scene.
So now the big reveal. The double ending.
The double ending. It did feel like that was the ending.
The return of the
king. This is the add-on. Talia goes out to Alan standing out on his balcony, and he's upset about something.
Let's read it.
You want to read it?
Let's read it. Yeah, let's read it. Let's read it because it's important.
Do it.
So Alan says, "It's all in motion now. Mark and Eve will want to kill Thrag for what he did. They're involved. They'll give me the help I need. I can rally my forces around them. Mark will be able to pull in other Viltrumites, something Oliver could never do."
He says how the attack on his life, there was a lot of pressure. He had no choice. I need you, telling Talia that I need you to believe that I never would have let it get this far, and he says, I knew pressing Oliver to meet with Thrag would cause him to test him. I made sure Thrag knew where Mark and Eve were. I put them in danger. I knew Thrag would use them as a test. I knew all of this. I was desperate. I saw no other way, and now my friend is dead.
With a tear in his eye,
I'm
not a
surprised
villain.
he's even telling Talia all this. I
guess,
understand
but
that they're. I
the
mean,
damage-
but
I
why
think-
now? He's probably just feeling the remorse. But
I think the damage is
now,
done.
now more than ever, I would keep my fucking mouth shut on this subject. You know what I mean? If I were him.
That's not who Alan is, though.
But it's not like he's going to tell Mark.
But this is very uncharacteristic of Alan to do this type of thing, to be in
I
this
think
kind of role.
This is breaking him.
This and this is who Alan is. Alan's a good fucking guy. Like,
Do you think he's going to tell Mark?
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
I think that I don't know how Mark's going to find out. I think Mark is going to find out.
Yes.
I don't know whether or not it leads to Mark wanting to kill Alan.
It will.
But if it does, I think that Alan would be okay with it almost. Because like you said, Bill,
Like, yes, I
Alan
deserve this.
feels like he deserves punishment for this. He feels shitty for this. And this is kind of proving to us that he is a good guy. He does feel remorse. He did a shitty thing.
I don't
And-
want this to happen.
He did a necessary thing. What would you do if you were in his position?
That's a really shitty situation. He told Thrag, like we predicted that he told Thrag where Mark and
He
Eve were.
asked-
Let me ask
Mark,
you this: Did it work out for him?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yes.
He traded Oliver for Invincible.
And
Mark.
Eve and
And
all the other
all the
Viltrumites. He
Viltrumites.
said Oliver would never be able to rally the other Viltrumites like Mark
That
could.
was his reasoning.
That's his reasoning.
Yeah.
And fuck yeah, Oliver.
Well, I hope this doesn't happen. One thing I was thinking could happen is Mark is going to find out. Alan's not going to tell him, but Mark's going to find out and want to kill Alan, and they're not going to be friends. And then I think Alan's could possibly sacrifice himself in the heat of the moment to save Mark or something, and redeem himself for
In Mark's
this
eyes,
bullshit.
yeah.
In
I can
Mark's
see
eyes,
that.
redeem himself.
I can see that. I just don't know if I necessarily see them fighting, especially because we saw them fight in this issue. Like, I don't, because like we've kind of said, like earlier, like in past issues, I would have predicted like, yeah, they're gonna fight, but
Alan's
he kind of makes sense.
Alan's purpose, yes, he does. Alan's purpose in this whole arc here is to defend the fucking galaxy, right? And this whatever amount of space that they're in. And once that is done, he's not going to be able to live with the guilt of what he did. It's necessary. He had to do it, but it's kind of like sacrificing yourself. You know what I mean? Would you jump in the way of a bullet to save your wife and die?
Yeah.
Do you want to die?
Well, no.
No, but you would do
would
it,
do it.
right?
Exactly.
I think that it would be amazing if after everything is done, and maybe Mark is like, we'll come back to this, and he goes and kills Thrag or something like that, and maybe Alan's somewhere, he says, meet me here after the battle, and Alan just takes a beating and dies, and just allows Mark to just...
Would Mark do that though, or would he just leave him?
He might.
beat up.
He might.
Interesting.
He may. Who knows?
And you know what's exciting and not exciting at the same time? We're going to find out because there's only 11 more issues left.
Ugh.
There are only 11 more issues left.
They
of
ta-
Invincible.
why-
This was so quick. This issue was so quick. I feel
Every
like
issue-
it's
we're
gonna.
gonna-
It's
Really?
gonna.
We are going to say that about every issue.
And you know what?
Why?
I think this is a longer issue than normal because it was kind of this anniversary issue. So
What's
they are gonna
Alan's,
feel,
what's
they are
Alan's
gonna feel
girlfriend's
quick.
name?
Talia?
Talia? We have to talk about her butt in this because
in her
There's a
little
little
slip.
cheekage.
there's
little
enough
cheek.
cheekage. I think it's the best thing that we've ever seen in Invincible.
The best thing.
I think it's
I can't help but feel like after our interview with Ottley, that was a little something he put in there for
It's
us.
He
just
did that-
enough-
He did that just for you.
Just
Oh,
for us.
also, I missed it the first time because I read it digitally,
There you go.
and I read panel to panel, and Ryan was right. It cut it off.
It did. Now you know.
It's like a PG-13 version of it. Damn it.
Well, let's see what some of the listeners had to say. Remember, you can email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Just like Jordan did. Jordan wrote to us and said, "Hey again, guys. Read issue 133 last night, and I enjoyed it a lot. I figured it'd be filler of some sort. Very emotional. I know last issue we didn't really get to see Mark react to Oliver dying, but it was nice to see him feel for his brother's death this time. It was also nice to see Mark and Eve finally get married. I'm looking to get married too in the next year, so that was heartwarming and relatable. I also like how Eve slapped Mark up for being an impulsive person, LMAO, and also how she's committed to ending Thrag with him. My predictions next issue is a check-in with Thrag and Ursel and the Coalition prepping to actually go to war. I said that last time, but it seems really likely this time around. I really liked how Ottley's art was in this issue. I've noticed that he and Walker's art has progressively evolved/gotten better over time. Fairbairn's colors also added a nice touch. I also enjoyed the moment between Tara and Alan. The eye bit was actually pretty funny. You guys were right about Alan selling out Mark and Eve for his benefit as well, but it was nice to see he felt bad about it. I take Alan as the type of guy who just goes, oh well, to the situation. Have we ever seen him cry? Last but not least, I think Mark is really going to start getting in touch with his Viltrumite side. I remember seeing a letter asking if he was going to give into his heritage more, and Kirkman replied with, stay tuned. He might end up sprouting a mustache eventually. But at some point in the book, he's sick of everyone's bullshit, so he'll do what's necessary to make his family's life peaceful. And who can blame him? Sorry for the long letter. Love, Jordan. P.S. Where's Marky Jr.?
Where the fuck is Marky Jr.?
Ooh. He's coming.
He is. He's
growing.
I almost feel like with everything that's going on, that it almost feels unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like that whole Marky storyline. Like there's enough.
I think they knew about it when he wrote that, so he's got to play a big card.
But I'm saying like I feel like there's enough even without that, and throw that into the mix, and there's just so much. So Bill, was there? There's something else. Jordan said, "Oh yeah, I agree. Next issue, I'd like to see some Thrag and Ursel."
Well, it sounds like his prediction, and unfortunately, I think that he's right. Is that it's going to be kind of like a build-up to what everybody's doing, which to me sounds like filler, but necessary.
Yeah. Well, this issue was an awesome first issue. Like, think about this. This is going to be the first issue of the hardcover, the final hardcover. Somebody might pick up, volume 11, read it, which is going to be Reboot and Cory Walker's arc, and then put it down. And then maybe a year later, pick up volume 12 hardcover, and it's going to start off with this. Like, this is an awesome March to War, like, build-up kind of thing. And, I think it was a good start.
I guess the question is how many issues of the last 12 are actually going to be conflict and not, like, build up and then
I think
aftermath.
This one was a little necessary to have a little bit more exposition, but I don't think Kirkman's going to be slowing down at all. I think he's got a lot to put in these, and they're going to feel quick, and things are going to probably feel a little rushed, but I think there's going to be a lot of stuff. So,
yeah.
TJ or Bill, you guys got a message? Or?
Yeah, I have one from Jason. So glad that Mark and Eve finally got married. I wish we could have seen more from the actual wedding, as it feels like I have known these characters for years, but considering it's the end of the series, I'll take what I can get. The Ottley art was fantastic, so happy to have him back. I think it's clear that Mark or Nolan will be attempting to kill Alan by the end of the series, and it's going to be heartbreaking. Thanks as always for the great podcast and always taking the time to reply to emails, even when it's too late to read them on the show. You're doing a great job at creating a community for fans of the book. Love, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
I don't know why. I actually think that if it came down to it, Nolan would try to stop Mark from killing Alan.
That's funny because you read, the email from him, and the first thing I thought of was like, oh, all we talked about was Mark fighting Alan. What if Nolan finds out that his son?
Oh yeah, that's his son.
That's his son.
Oh,
maybe
fuck.
Nolan's the one that's going to snap at him.
Nolan would know that that's necessary though. He's super
maybe.
Viltrumite.
Yeah.
Like they kill the weak to breed the the like. I don't know. I think that he's more understanding and wise and older than Mark. I think Mark is going through kind of maybe a metamorphosis time of his life where he's starting again. Like we're gonna start to see Mark become more Viltrumite.
Interesting. TJ?
Yeah, we had some people that contacted us on Facebook. Mark, coincidentally, he's emailed us before. He's our friend from, I believe he's from the UK. He says, so Mark and Eve did give a shit about Oliver dying. Good to know. I think that there needed to be more between the events of the last issue and the beginning of this one, which I agree. The difference between their reactions in the two issues was too jarring for me. Having said that, I liked this issue. Great to have Ottley back, and Tara was on a fine form. Loved her considering hitting Alan in the eye and her expression at the wedding.
Yeah.
A crazy theory occurred to me the other day. What if Eve rebuilt Mark wrong? She made him stronger. What if she inadvertently took away his delayed aging? It would be an interesting way to end. I think the thing which led to this was the thought, if Eve's death is meant to drive Mark crazy, how could the series end without this happening, assuming they both survive?
He brought up an interesting point. Like, TJ, you said, oh, maybe Eve built herself wrong. I think it's interesting to think that maybe she
Built Mark wrong.
What if that's awesome, by the way, because I love that idea. I don't know if taking away the aging part, but what if she somehow took away the human aspect of him?
Rebuilt him as more of a Viltrumite than a human?
More of a Viltrumite, or like, you know, some sort of...
How could that play a part in the story, you think, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he is
How is that
actually...
going to
I mean,
be
we've
an
already...
issue?
You mean he's been on this, you know, more aggressive Viltrumite path. What if she did something to make it easier, maybe unhinge him a little bit more, like didn't put a block back that was kind of keeping him somewhat human?
Took more of the human aspect away from him, you know what I mean? Because she rebuilds on the level of an atom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's DNA. Mm-hmm. Like, and to his point, it could be the aging aspect, or it could be like the human aspect or something. But I think that's amazing. I think that would be really cool if it was brought up again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was another post. It wasn't directed to us, but I wanted to read it just because it's from a different perspective. Peter posted on the Invincifan site. He said, "So disappointed in the new issue, possibly the worst issue of Invincible. Rushed with bad writing and characters acting out of character with no explanation and a bunch of cliche drivel. Plus, Ryan is not a good inker. This is exactly what I feared. It feels like Kirkman is rushing this to get it out of the way. A better issue would be one that focused on paying tribute to Oliver, like the silent issue of Batman and Robin, where Bruce is mourning Damian. It doesn't feel like they care about Oliver, despite the crappy dialogue about how sad they are. Show, don't tell."
So yeah, I saw this on Facebook. I disagree. I mean, you guys have listened to us talk about it for almost an hour now.
There are certain... Okay,
he's not wrong. He's
Well,
not wrong about
yeah,
that.
I mean, everyone's
about
entitled
some
to
stuff, but at the same
everybody's
time,
entitled to their opinion. When it comes to, you know, first of all, I love the shout out to the silent
I don't know that
issue of after Damian died. There was no dialogue in the comic.
Spoilers, thank you.
He died like 2 years ago, Bill.
Spoilers, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, you got a lot of catching up to do. If
I
that's
have
the case.
rest in peace. All right, Batman, R.I.P.
That was like 2007.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyways, that was an awesome issue, but I don't think that obviously Batman and Robin have a much bigger relationship that was built over the course of the last, you know, however many years.
Not to mention it's not ending.
Not to mention that it's father and son versus brother and brother. I mean, I don't know. My personal opinion is father and son has there's a bigger connection there. But I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. The whole that it was rushed. I agree, that's something I said before. I do kind of agree with that. There was a funeral and a wedding in the same thing.
Yeah.
We don't all agree on it. It's just our opinions.
Yeah, again,
and you're entitled to that.
This is his opinion.
But I agree about the rushed.
You could say that it felt rushed. Again, I kind of disagree. I mean, people wanted. I mean, he even said he wanted more, you know, tribute to Oliver. We said at the beginning of this discussion, almost this entire thing was, attributed to Oliver in some form or another. Also, the rushing thing. I mean, I think the only thing that seemed kind of rushed was jumping to the wedding the way it did. But even that, the way I explained it, in my opinion, I feel like there was a good transition. I feel like the funeral scene ended in my eyes. It came to a close, and they moved on. These 12 issues have to hit every scene. Like, each page is valuable now. And if it feels a little jarring at first as you reading it, that's a price I'm willing to take.
And get used to it because there's 11 issues left.
Yeah, this is going to be...
And like we said earlier, Kirkman, I'm sure, has a lot to put in these issues. So
Right. So would you rather them speed this process up, a wedding? Do you really want to read Invincible to just have a whole issue about a wedding, or do you want to have one page about a wedding and then the rest of it, and then I'll have a whole issue of him just beating on Thrag and Thrag killing everybody? Like, come on, you know what I mean? You can't.
I know, and
you
again,
can't have your cake and
everybody's
eat it
entitled
too.
to their opinion. That's just how it is. We just disagree.
yeah. Another one was our friend who was on the show, Mike Barrett, says he commented and said Eve's powers ... They seem to be very improved after the self-adjustment last issue. She'll be a force to be reckoned with. And what if she learns how to access the full potential of her powers at will versus being on the verge of death? She could be Phoenix without the crazy side. She could go head-to-head with Thrag if that was the case.
Yeah, I love the idea of her kind of unlocking this Phoenix or Scarlet Witch kind of thing where she's just changing matter. And like, imagine this, Bill. Eve's about to die. Something's going to kill her. But before she dies, we get a couple pages of her just
Going off.
going nuts.
Straight up X3
Yes.
Phoenix.
Now, I say, yeah. Now, say she wasn't going to die. I mean, obviously, that's a pretty OP. That's a little too powerful. Mm-hmm. But that's a pretty cool thought, And she's got the red hair to match.
Do you know what's an even cooler thought? And I hate being right about everything all the time because I'm absolutely right about Battle Beast's son. That's going to happen in 2 issues. 2 issues. We're going to see him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Next issue is going to be an entire issue about Battle Beast's son. Eve can only access it right before she's about to die or near death.
Or it's a emotional, stressful experience. The first time she did it, she wasn't near death.
So what if Thrag is about to tear Mark in half again, and the only way for Eve to save him is to make herself near death,
to hurt herself,
and she has to hurt herself.
Well,
she stabs herself in the heart
Mark
or something like that.
Mark about to die is enough to do it.
I don't. I think that it's been very clear.
The first time she did it was when her mom, who she just saw, who was in a tank, died. I mean, that was enough to trigger it.
I guess you're right.
So I think, she might be able to. But yes, her hurting herself or her doing something to herself in order to unlock it, that's interesting too.
Yeah.
Carlito called her the pink surfer versus the silver surfer. Another thing that Mike Barrett says, and Bill, I don't think you know about this.
We were about to bring this up, Bill, and we were bringing this up before we started recording. Bill didn't get a chance to look at the letters column in the back of the issue yet. So, Bill, I want to tell you this. Derek, in the letters column, says, and last thing you must consider, I'm sure everyone would agree with the idea of an Invincible show or movie animated or not, that you guys have even considered it. Also, everyone thinks that Oliver is straight up evil, but I believe he's just undercover because how would he choose to side with a guy who smacked his jaw off, blah, blah, Derek. And then Sean Makowitz says, Thrag killed Oliver, but Kirkman responds and says, as far as the idea of adapting Invincible into another medium goes, of course we've considered it, but it's got to be perfect. Stay tuned. ...
That could just be like feeding into it. You know what I mean?
Why say anything?
Of course we've considered it. Because he has to.
No.
He has to
it's
acknowledge
the stay
it.
tuned thing. Last year, he said something is coming.
He said,
be patient.
Stay tuned. Yeah,
I think something's still in the works.
But he's been saying this since Invincible started. Okay, we get it.
But
tell us something.
It would be the coolest thing in the world. But
you know what would be better? Yes, something is coming. Something it is going to go into another medium.
And then
stay tuned. Then give us a stay tuned.
But then say they're working on an animated or a short or something like that, and it fails. It's not going up to standards, budget reasons, things just don't work out. Then he has to tell everybody that it's not happening.
But he still does now.
This is how you handle
because
it. A company doesn't do that.
No, I get it. I understand that, but
there's nothing to announce.
He's been fine. I get that, but he's been giving us hints, very blatant hints, that's making the Invincible fan base go nuts for a very long time. So even if whatever he's currently working on that we don't know about, if it fails, I feel like he would still have to say, "Hey, we were working on something, but it didn't work out."
And I agree that's his way out of this. And I think that's better than saying this is what it is. You can't say.
But it's got to
get a little impatient. And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
But it's got to be perfect. That's his way out of it. That's his way out of it.
Yeah,
are you saying stay tuned because you are working on something, or are you saying stay tuned because you never know?
He says it right here. We're working on something, but we've considered it, but it has to be perfect. So that's like saying, guys, if it's not perfect, we're not going to do it.
Right.
Do you remember the letters column in the last issue where Beau Pilgrim actually wrote in and said that he thinks it would be great if there was an Invincible action figure, and then one of the responses said, never say never. And a couple days later, we find out that Invincible's going to be in the next Mega Box. So
But we don't know yet, for sure.
But we don't know for sure if it's the action figure. But it's like, so, I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Speaking of Beau Pilgrim, as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, we actually have the new segment of the Fan Spotlight. So take a minute, and you can hear our conversation with Beau now.
All right, so here we are. We're sitting down with Beau Pilgrim. Welcome to the show, Beau.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Now, we wanted to do this whole thing where we sit down with fans of Invincible, and you actually reached out to us a few months ago maybe and told us about your custom action figures and some other stuff. And first of all, congratulations on getting in the letters column. That was actually really cool of the latest issue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all saw that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It was cool.
I've always wondered about like writing in and getting like we actually talked about it, TJ. We were like, why didn't we ever write into the letters?
We never really have done it.
So how often have you written in a lot, and this is like your first time, or?
No, I've had one other one printed. It was a while back. I don't even remember what issue it was. I don't even remember what I wrote. But
Really? I'd have that shit framed.
well, this one was a little bit more special, because I was all emotional and stuff from the announcement. I wrote it the day that they announced that the series was ending.
No way.
Yeah, and so that's where that all came from. Never been so emotional about a fictional character in my life, I don't think.
Oh, I know. I can't believe it took almost a year to get it into the comic, though. Wow.
I know you already told us, but once again, where are you from?
Alabama. Gadsden, Alabama.
Awesome.
Good old
Nice.
sweet.
Now, so one of the first things I wanted to ask you about was, now, when did you start reading Invincible? Like, how did you get into it?
I got into it. Okay. The first issue I bought, single issue, when I was caught up, was I think number 38, whichever one has the big spaceship and Mark's really small. That was the first one I bought, like, off the stands. But I'd always really liked the covers. Like, I thought the costume design for Invincible was freaking awesome. And one day, I just, on a whim, bought the first 3 hardcovers on Amazon and bought them and have been obsessed ever since.
Did Kirkman's name play any part in that, or was it just simply like the comic, the cover of it? You're like, that looks cool, so I'm going to read it.
No, I started getting back into comics in about 2005, 2006, from whenever I was a kid. I'd just graduated high school and had a little bit of money and stuff. And so I started reading Walking Dead, I think, around the same time. Like 25 was the first issue of Walking Dead I bought. And so I knew that I liked this guy, but he wasn't like my favorite writer or anything yet. But it was mainly just Ottley's art, and I thought he looked cool.
Yeah,
and,
in issue 38, Robert Kirkman wasn't even really a big household name at that time.
No, he was still, before all the Walking Dead fame and all that stuff really took off.
Yeah, and I want to say we started around 40, 42.
I started at 40. I think you guys started around. I think
42.
you started at 42.
Yep.
And you must have started at around 50.
Yeah, because I remember the ramp up for 50, and that's cool. But we got into it. I mean, we've talked about it before, but Walking Dead was a big influence in, finding Invincible because of Kirkman, and I think it's cool that you picked it up just because the cover looked awesome. I like that.
That
nice
was
job,
essentially
Ryan Ottley selling comics.
I want to say that's actually the cover.
right.
I want to say that's actually the cover that Mike Barrett owns. I think he owns the original to that because he talked about how
He did talk about that.
I think it ended up being
that's because that sounded familiar. Do you remember? Was that a conversation that we had, or was he on the podcast?
I think it was the conversation with Mike Barrett on the podcast, where that's one of the covers he has because he's talking about all the windows and the details of that ship.
Mm-hmm.
So, why did you keep reading it? Like, what was it that stuck, do you think? In your opinion, what do you think was the reason that kept you coming back to Invincible?
I guess just because it was fresh, it was all new characters. I know that like the Guardians and stuff, you could tell were, you know, rip-offs of the Justice League and all this and stuff. But I like the whole, like you guys have talked about, once the big twist with Nolan and stuff happens, it was like, just like in y'all's new reader episodes, like couldn't put it down after you get to that twist. Up before that, it was like typical superhero stuff, but it was just different. It's always been so much more different than anything Marvel or DC or any of those other guys put out.
Mm. Yeah, just the way that it takes that like kind of classic thing with, it's always very Spider-Man, you know, where it's the normal kid that's dealing with normal problems and just ramps it up with.
You got to get past the origin story to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, but even then, like I liked how the origin story was kind of the typical story, but then it flips it on its head and like, you know, oh, they introduce you to like the Justice League characters. They make it seem like, oh, this is a normal, comfortable thing, and then completely change it. And all those twists, all those turns can make you like want to keep getting more and more. It's addictive.
They still did it in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, though. You know what I mean? To keep it interesting, not just it was like a blatant rip-off of like, that's Batman, that's Superman, that's Martian Manhunter, like, you know, him having to throw up the thing. I'll remember that. Yeah, he was like, oh, I have to put this thing back in my mouth. Remember the guy that was like Green Lantern or whatever?
Green Ghost.
So it was still kind of funny, and you're like, oh, I get it. It's like satire almost. You know what I mean? But then it flipped it over with the whole Omni-Man shit. And...
Yeah.
And just the characters. I mean, the way Kirkman writes relationships and stuff, to me, it's a lot more realistic and, I guess, heartfelt or something. I don't know. Like, I believe Adam Eve and Invincible, to me, are a much more believable couple than Kitty Pryde and Star-Lord or, you know, anybody else that's forced together.
Well, because it feels earned. It feels earned, too, you know what I mean? And not only that, but, like, we saw Mark and Amber go through that relationship, and, you know, you learn to love the characters before, you know, the writer makes you, like, tells you to love them. You know, like, it's not like the writer saying, yeah, this is a relationship that you should care about. Like, he makes you want to care about them first.
Yeah, it's a very natural flow.
Exactly. Yep.
And that's, and again, talking about the new readers, and I'm sure the girls are going to love that you brought up the new reader episode, of course, always. But every emotional aspect and beat of the comic is, like, so real. Like, you know how much I love Tara, right? And you have a kid?
Oh, yeah, I do.
So you know, you read it and you're like, oh, my God, this is like being a dad. And you know what I mean? And he does it so well, and none of it seems fake or forced. Like, it's just so natural, every aspect of it. And like in a new reader episode when the girls were talking about the abortion, like, dude, comics don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
they don't talk about that at all. You know what I mean? And anybody who's been through any of that kind of stuff connects with it on that much, you know, tighter of a level. So
that's kind of how Kirkman always promotes the comic too. He says you'll see things in this comic that you've never seen in any other comic, and it's true.
Especially in a superhero comic,
right?
You know,
yeah,
it's very cool.
And of course, the art to back it up, like that abortion scene. I mean, it's so emotional, and there's no words. You know what I mean? It's just them looking at each other. The coloring, the colorist did awesome, and I can still picture those pages when she tells Mark, like, so good.
Well, who's your favorite character?
My favorite character is, I mean, Mark. But other than him, I've always, sadly, really had an attachment to Oliver.
Right.
And I think it was just the way he was, especially whenever he was in the red and the black costume. That was like my favorite little Oliver era. Just whenever he was learning, you know, can I kill these people? Can I not? And stuff like that.
I loved all that. That's kind of like what I was saying on the last new reader. Is I loved him when he was a kid. As he grew up, kind of lost attachment to him a little bit just because we were seeing him less and less, and he was a completely different character. But I loved him as a kid. Mm-hmm. That whole dynamic of him, like you said, can I kill these people? Trying to learn what's good and bad, and growing up so quickly.
Oh yeah, that's that. Like I said, I guess it's a testament to Corey Walker. I think he does most of the costume designs.
Yeah,
like the coolest costumes in comics. Like I said in that letter, I feel like it's the book Invincible has the best costume design since the dawn of the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree. I love the costumes in it. I mean, I think there was. I've probably talked about it before. There was one of the hardcover collections where there might even be two of them where they talk about how they had to seek out Corey Walker to design a specific costume because they were having trouble with it, and he just does it so easily. That's definitely a strong suit, like layouts and costume design. That's really cool. So would you say like that whole Oliver period was probably your favorite part of the series so far?
My favorite part of the series is very cliche. Conquest is whatever issue it is, 63, the one where he's all busted up and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite single issue. And I just remember, when those were coming out, I was obsessed. I couldn't wait for the book to come out.
Do you remember having to wait month to month for Conquest? Gosh, these people that read it now, they get it so easy.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's today. I tend to be a few months behind on my comic reading, just because I let them pile up, and so I read the last two issues just back to back.
Oh wow!
Especially since long gaps in between them, and that last issue had a few what the hell moments.
Oh yeah. Yeah, how do you feel about, especially with Oliver being one of your favorite characters, how do you feel about that? I mean, obviously we're, again, for everybody listening, we're recording this before the new issue comes out, so we don't know what's going to happen in, in the new issue, but, do you believe he's dead? Like, Oliver, like...
I don't know. I kind of don't, because, I mean, Mark's had a hole punched in him before, so...
Who hasn't?
Yeah. So in a way, I think he might come back somehow. I hope he does, even though I'm not too fond of his little mustache now and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think he's done. I think that was the consequence that was paid before the end of all things. I think it's over. I just didn't really like the way.
A good setup for the end of all things, just because I knew something big was going to happen, and I didn't think anything would happen to Tara, but it was a pretty big shock. Like I said, once I saw him show up there, I was like, I knew it was coming.
Yeah, he had to redeem himself, and then he had to pay the price. Now, I'm again getting this on record before you read the new issue. There's got to be something going on with Alan and Oliver and that whole, him working with Rag. It just seems off, and I kind of want closure. I feel like, especially with how quick everything happened at the end of that issue, I kind of want closure on, what happened and why.
Speaking of which, so
End of All Things is starting.
End of All Things. So what do you, if anything, what threads, what open arcs, what do you want to see finish up before the comic ends,
or come back, or
come back? What do you want to see before the comic is ended?
The one thing that I wanted to see that I mean it's not going. I don't think, but the one thing I kind of felt like Kirkman was always building up to was maybe putting Oliver and Mark against each other. And that was something up until today I was really kind of looking forward to, especially since they had him as the whole double agent or whatever he was doing between the Viltrumites and stuff. And so I always expected there to be a pretty big throwdown between Oliver and Mark. But now that doesn't look like it's going to happen, I don't know. Just a epic throwdown with Thrag and hoping some other form of Battle Beast shows up eventually.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's going to happen. I definitely think that's going to happen.
Yeah, it will. Before we let you go, I want to hear a little bit more about the action figures you did. Now, I've looked at the pictures, and I'll have the when this episode goes out, I'll make sure to post them on our Twitter if anybody wants to check them out. But is this something that you do just casually as a hobby? I mean, how do you do that?
It started out I've always been into action figures and stuff like that, and I've always wanted Invincible ones, and so I decided just to take it upon myself and do some. And I've done a lot of Invincibles because people want them, and so I make them every once in a while. It takes me a while to do them, especially work a full-time job, have kids, all that fun stuff. So it's usually about a month or so that goes into doing the sculpting on the head and then the painting, getting it all right and stuff. But I've got plans to do a lot more. I've always wanted to do Rexplode and Duplicate and Adam.
Yes, please do a Rexplode. That's awesome.
I've got plans for it, but
No, they look great.
So it was just a hobby.
Cool.
So do you start from scratch? Like, how does that even work? Do you make a cast? Do you play? Like,
well, like I usually only sculpt heads. Like the rest of them, I'll use Marvel Legends. I don't know if you know it, guys. No,
Yeah.
Just 6-inch Marvel figures, and I'll strip them down, and then. With Invincible, it's just painting it. I got to paint it for his costume. But other ones, like with Conquest, I sculpted like the little Viltrumat symbol and the bands and stuff. But then most of the heads I sculpt from scratch, or I just sculpt on top of I'll get a existing action figure and just sand it completely down and sculpt on top of it.
That's
and
smart.
Then
That's smart. How'd you do the Haunt one? Like the texture on his shoulders, like the.
Oh, that was all sculpt from head to toe.
That's amazing, dude. Honestly, like I think my favorites are your Oliver with the hair going through the face. Is badass, and you can tell there's a lot of love in that one too. And then Haunt looks awesome.
Yeah, I like Haunt. He's probably one of my favorites I've done, just as far as I feel like he looked really good with the sculpt and stuff. I just wish more people liked Haunt because
I know.
They're like, who are you talking about, or who is this guy? And so, he's fun to do.
Didn't McFarlane bring up the fact that he might be bringing him back or something like that?
I know a few months ago or something he mentioned it on Twitter, and I was like, yes, please.
Yeah,
but,
he asked, hey, who would be interested in this?
Yeah, and I was like, I would definitely.
Yeah.
I love. That's another
Writing
thing.
it?
Like, I don't know.
What's that?
McFarlane would write it?
Oh, he just asked again who would be interested in it.
Really?
As in, who wants to see it come back kind of thing.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure. We'll have to look.
So, we hear that you have an interesting Kirkman story.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. This was back in it was 2009 actually. So this was before the Walking Dead TV show and stuff. I don't know what year. It was right before the Walking Dead TV show. So he wasn't super famous and all that fun stuff. And I used to work retail. I worked a 12-hour shift, and it was whenever the second Transformers movie came out. I went to see that afterwards, and I saw where he tweeted something about having a signing the next day in Lexington, Kentucky, and I looked it up. I was like a 6-hour drive. That's kind of far, and so I was with my brother, and I was like, all right, I'll tweet him back and be like, if I drive from Alabama, will you sign every book I bring? And if he tweets back, it's meant to be, and we'll go. And he tweeted back. He was like, if you drive from Alabama, I'll sign your car. Like I said, I worked 12 hours, went to the movies. That happened, and so I went home, me and my brother, and I literally packed up every book that I had by Robert Kirkman. So then we left about midnight, drove about 4 or 5 hours, got a hotel, slept like 2 hours, drove the rest of the way, got there. It was him and Corey Walker, and they were both really cool. He signed all my Walking Deads, all my Invincibles, Marvel Team Up.
In your car?
I didn't drive my car, or I would have gotten to sign my car. I should have done it anyways, but I didn't. And Corey Walker did a Invincible and an Omni-Man sketch for me for free.
That's cool.
And then
for free? That's awesome.
Yeah, for free. And then afterwards, Kirkman was like, you guys want to go see Transformers? And I'd already seen it the night before, but I was like, yeah. So me and my brother went and saw Transformers with Robert Kirkman and Corey Walker. And
come on.
He bought us a pizza.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I didn't take any pictures or anything from that day, and I was like, no one's going to believe this. This guy's bullshit. And he's just... Luckily, when I wrote that letter in this last issue, he mentioned it, that he remembered it and stuff. So I was like, cool, I have proof now.
Proof.
That's awesome.
From the man himself.
I half expected you to end that story with, and he's right here if you guys want to meet him.
He's under my bed. Then you lift up the blanket.
He just pops out, just his head.
Hey, guys.
It's pretty cool. But it was a really cool experience, probably now he's too famous,
Right.
There was maybe 30 people at the signing or something like that. Now I think you have to get tickets to wait in a line to maybe get to meet him and stuff.
Pay $50 per signature and everything.
Yeah.
So did you sit directly next to him?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I would have held his hand the entire time.
Did your thighs accidentally brush up against each other?
It was hard not to, like, my palms were all sweaty and stuff. You know, it was like almost worse than being on a date with a girl.
And you were watching the terrible Revenge of the Fallen that you had already seen. Did you lie? Did you say you didn't see it?
I don't remember. I think I told him, but then I think I was just like, what the hell?
I would have lied. I would have been like, yeah, I want to see that movie. What's that about? Transformers.
But yeah, like I said, it was really fun, really cool, and probably once in a lifetime.
Exactly. Yeah, that's such a great story. I love it.
Wow. I was not expecting that at all.
I thought it would.
That's great.
I thought it was going to end with the signing thing.
Yeah.
And then you go to Transformers.
It was really cool.
That's
like I
awesome.
said, I loved it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Beau. This is really cool. Anything else before we let you go?
Any questions for us?
I was going to say something. Oh, I was going to say, give myself a little shout out if you guys don't mind.
Please do.
Do it.
On Instagram, my account is at Grim_Pilgrim_. Post a lot of like work in progress of figures and sculptures and stuff like that. And it's always like I've always wanted to be on a podcast, so I appreciate you guys for allowing me on here. Like I feel really cool and stuff. It's gonna be weird.
No problem.
On my way to work.
That's awesome. And you said it was Grim_?
Yeah, Grim GRIM.
Got it.
_Pilgrim_.
Pilgrim.
That's
Cool.
it.
All right, guys.
Awesome, man. Thanks for being a part of it.
Go follow Beau on Instagram. All right, we're gonna call it there. Again, thanks for coming on, Beau.
Oh, I appreciate it. See you guys later.
All right, man.
Later.
Talk to you, bro. The hang up button?
Yep.
All right.
And we're back. Thanks again, Beau, for that talk. That is such an awesome Kirkman story. And we found out after the fact, after recording with Beau, that Invincible is going to be in the next Mega Box. So here's hoping he's the action figure, but we'll see. Now we're going to go on to our segment where we play our little game.
That sounded like a little...
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah.
It did sound a little creepy. A little game. Bye, TJ.
Trap door opens up.
He falls. So yeah, this is basically like 20 questions, except only 10 questions. And we're going to try and guess an Invincible character. So, Bill, do you want to start?
With my character and you guys
so
guess?
Me and TJ are going to guess a character that Bill is thinking of, and we only get 10 guesses. So
and
we're working together.
The 10th one has to be the guess.
Yep,
So you get
and
9 questions. The 10th one has to be the answer.
Yes.
Okay.
And the rule is that this character has to have been in at least 3 issues of Invincible. Okay?
Cool. And if you guys want to play along at home, keep track of when you get the answer right. So if you no, honestly, and then if,
Well, it's just fun to listen and try and guess as we go. Then we're gonna get halfway through and people are gonna be screaming like it's this person. All right.
Okay. So who wants to go first, Ryan or TJ?
Male or female?
Can't
Or
do that.
is it
Yes.
a male?
Yes.
Okay. Oops. Is this person an alien?
No.
Are they a part of the Grayson family?
No.
That was
3.
That was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So we're on 4.
Yeah. Does this person have abilities? Special abilities? And you can answer you don't know, and that doesn't count as a question.
Your thing doesn't count as a question?
No, yeah, it doesn't count
If
as a
you
question.
don't
If
know,
you don't
then
know
it's
the
not
answer.
going to count as a question.
I would say yes.
They do have special abilities.
But he
is unsure about it.
He was unsure
He would
about it.
say yes.
Let me just say this. He has abilities.
He has abilities beyond my abilities.
Right.
So
Are
we
we
know
on
it's
6?
we know it's a male.
I
Human.
am
1,
number 6.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we're on 5.
5. We're on 5.
Okay, you had
We
6
know it's
fingers up.
We know it's a male human who kind of has abilities and isn't the Grayson family.
Is this person a villain?
Yes.
Was this person ever a hero?
No.
I thought it was robot. I thought he was going to say robot because he said abilities, and that would be kind of if it was robot. See how that made sense?
This is number 7, TJ.
Jeez.
You guys might not get this.
Is it a human?
Yes.
We said that. I asked if he was an
you said
alien.
you said is the
Oh,
alien.
I don't know if
doesn't-
that was worth the
Yeah,
question.
the answer's not.
It means he's not
We only get
an alien.
You get a redo on that one.
Oh wait. Oh. Ooh.
So TJ, go again with 8. You have 2
TJ,
more guesses.
Since we're working together, TJ, I'm thinking maybe art. Would Bill say that he has abilities because he's a tailor?
He's also not a villain, which this
you
character
said he's a
is
villain.
a villain.
Sorry. Shoot. So this is a human villain that kind of has abilities.
When we asked, does he have abilities? You know that we meant supernatural abilities, correct?
You don't mean like a skill, like he's really good at basketball.
He's not. He can't just like jump really high or something like that. Like he has.
Okay.
He's a villain that has abilities
Oh man.
that you can't.
This is a little tough.
You guys have 2 more guesses, and
Male.
TJ, it's on you.
Can he walk down the street without anybody looking at him weird?
Yes.
Oh, come on. So this is the last guess.
So he's got no brain hanging out of his head. He's got, he's not a.
So this is a villain that looks like a normal person. Oh shoot. Bill? Oh no, TJ.
This
is
is 9.
my final answer.
This is 9.
Oh, this is 9.
This is 9. So this is your last guess, and then TJ has to create. You guys can do the answer together.
Yeah, we can talk.
Yeah.
Together.
TJ, I'm thinking Powerplex. Does that fit everything? Human.
Yeah, I guess.
He has abilities, and he questioned it because he doesn't have natural abilities. It's
But
his, it's
so
his
is
costume.
there so are you gonna
Don't give
make
us
2
hints.
guesses? Are you gonna make 2 guesses if this isn't?
if I guess the person's name, then I don't know. Would we say that it's over?
Can they control elements?
No, wait, no,
It's
no.
his
Any
guess.
kind of elements?
I'm trying to think of how to guess him, but still give us more hints if it's not him. Should I ask if he wears a costume? Does this character wear a costume?
It's not Powerplex.
Wow. So it's not.
No.
Shoot. Oh no. Oh no, TJ. We have to give him a final answer. Bill, is this? Wait. Is it Cecil? No.
I feel
Cecil doesn't
like knowing Bill, it's someone recent.
Cecil doesn't have abilities. Who is it? Oh man, if you're listening to this and you know it,
There's no way. You guys could have asked.
we did bad.
I would say yes.
Oh.
I'd say you did a poor. Well, no.
And this is the first time we're really
You only
playing
get 10 questions though, so they
Yeah.
need to be like
They need to be
very
good,
like you
broad.
need to fucking know.
Narrow it down. So who are we gonna guess, TJ? Because I got no one. Man, I thought Powerplex was it. It's got to be someone like Powerplex that doesn't. Who's a villain that doesn't wear a costume?
I wouldn't say that what he wears could be considered a costume.
Inevitably, this is always going to end with us saying that you were wrong about one of your questions, about one of your answers. Like, that's a costume. I don't know. We have to guess someone, TJ.
You have to guess somebody. Ready?
I got it.
Okay.
Russ Livingston.
That's why I asked, can they walk down the street without? And he's
he
an
looks
alien.
normal. He's not an alien.
Wait,
But
who's Russ
if he's
Livingston?
not an alien,
possessed.
if he's not an alien, then he doesn't have powers.
He's
Got
a
it.
symbiote.
Right.
So-
I guess that was a good answer that I pulled
That's
out
why
of
I
your...
asked that
Your
question.
answer,
Yeah.
Ryan, is one. I cannot believe it. 100% wrong.
What do you mean my answer?
Your guess is
Oh.
wrong.
It's Russ.
Which
I
Russ,
asked-
Russ
I
covers
asked
everything,
questions.
doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
What doesn't it cover?
Because if he's an alien, if he's possessed, then he's an alien. That's not really Russ Livingston.
That's a hard one, but do you want the
yeah,
answer?
I disagree with
and
that.
if he's not possessed, then he doesn't
actually-
have special powers. He's
Right.
human.
Exactly. He is
All
human.
right, Bill.
And he
What
can
was-
walk down the street without anybody looking at him.
Are you ready?
Yeah, how dumb are we?
Doc.
Doc Seismic?
Seismic.
No.
Yep.
He
Doc
can
Seismic.
walk down the
Wow.
street.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and his costume is kind of...
Just a trench coat. It's just a white lab coat.
With his red zigzag on his
yeah,
chest.
it's not really. I gave you guys
Yeah.
hints. I said it's not really considered
Yeah.
a costume.
No, we deserve that one.
Doc Seismic, and you guys were nowhere near.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pulling it out, especially because of the
I
fact
tried
that
to make it a little bit more difficult.
And he's relatively recent too with his, transformation. Like he looks completely different now, but that's a different Doc Seismic.
oh
You
yeah,
were going by the
I
old
was
one.
going Doc Seismic of
OG
yeah,
Doc Seismic.
OG Doc Seismic.
Who's up next? Me or TJ?
I'll go.
Okay,
All right, TJ. Oh god.
well, you go first.
Okay,
Okay.
TJ.
Uh,
Are you changing it? You're changing it on the spot? I had one.
Because mine was
earlier.
so
Okay,
fucking
I got it.
good,
I'm
and yours is
All right.
lame.
No,
You got
it's
it?
because I'm nervous about it.
I know it's nervous. All right. Are you a male?
Yes.
Bill?
Are you an alien?
No.
He kind of seemed like he had to think for a second there.
He had to think for if it was a male.
Are you considered a hero?
No.
Ah.
Possibly. There's a shade of gray, which gives that is
That
still
gives
a question.
too much.
That yeah.
So we have a male
Who's
human that is not necessarily a hero or a villain. Gee, thanks for that, TJ.
Not all of that is true.
Oh my god.
Think about what you just said.
Do you reside on Earth?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you just say that he's a male human?
Yeah.
So
He's not an
TJ said
alien.
not necessarily all that is true, giving away the fact that he's not an alien, but he's not necessarily human either. So maybe he's some sort of creature.
How many questions are we at?
I think we're
He
at
started-
4. I think I'm giving 5.
Okay.
No,
No,
1,
one,
2, 3. Wait, we got 1,
4,
2,
5.
3, 4, 5. So you're
Yeah,
on
so I'm
5.
giving 5. So now I'm thinking that it's a villain that's not necessarily a human either,
That resides on Earth.
that resides on Earth. Like Dinosaurus, but he's kind of part human, and he's not necessarily a hero either. Does this person look like a human?
No.
There we go. So,
But he's a human,
no,
but doesn't look like a human.
he doesn't have to answer that. He is not an alien, and he doesn't look like a human.
Does this male that resides on Earth
and is a villain?
and is a villain-ish show up? No, I don't want to go with this.
You want to go?
I was gonna say other comics, but then he could take that as like Invincible Universe, like
Yeah.
all these other crazy things.
Now, like, should we ask something like, because we could talk like without actually giving official questions? Should we ask like, was this person around before issue 50? Was this person around before issue 100? Like, should we try and narrow it down that way? Or there's
is
there's the
hard.
costume question too.
So he's not an alien.
Yeah, this is a
Let me-
villain
okay,
who's not
okay.
an
I think if
alien
you're going to do the
and doesn't look
narrowing
human.
down thing, it has to be broad because
Oh, yeah. We
Right,
can't
right,
get
right.
it takes away the fun.
Okay,
out of
so
it.
not an alien that resides on Earth that is a male that doesn't look like a human, but is not an alien. Oh, I got it. I know who it
No,
is.
tell me.
Oh no. Because
Who are you thinking? We're working together.
Okay,
Who are you thinking?
I think that it could be Science Dog.
He was only in one issue.
No, he was in multiple.
No, I think he was only in the one where
I think
he was
TJ
he
would
was
count that
suit.
as multiple issues because he's in a
TJ,
comic
you
book.
wouldn't
That's
count that, right? That science.
I'm not-
answer this, TJ, and this isn't part of the question. Do you think Science Dog was
Hasn't
in more than
Science
one
Dog
issue?
been in more than one issue?
Yeah,
Hasn't he?
Yeah, he has
No.
been. Yeah, he has been.
as a character.
He's a
Maybe not as a
reoccurring
character, but he's
character
been-
in Invincible.
He's been in it.
Yeah, he's in a comic book in that universe.
But
I
he's
don't
not an
know.
alien. He resides on Earth.
If you want to waste the questions on it, go for it. But I'm saying no to that.
You don't want? Do you not want me to ask that as a question? What are we on? We're on 1, 2, 3.
You're on 6.
4, 5,
You're
6.
asking 6.
I'm 6. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 4 more questions.
You're
Are
not
you covered
hair.
in hair?
No.
That's what. Yeah.
Okay.
So
all
it's
right,
not
all right.
covered in hair. So it's not like a Wolfman villain or anything either.
Or Wolfman.
Yeah. All right.
But you look like you aren't an alien.
No, it's not that
but you
confusing.
don't-
He could be a robot. Like he's not human and he's not an alien.
So what is he then? He'd have to be a robot. He'd have to be
Dinosaurus isn't an
ani-
alien.
He'd have to be an
Wolfman
animal.
isn't an alien.
He'd have to be an
Battle
animal.
Beast is an alien. Yeah.
That
I guess it would
resides
have
on
to-
Earth.
I guess it would have to be an alien.
Question 7.
TJ, were you in the series before issue 50?
Yes.
All right, so that's huge. I mean, unless it is Angstrom, and TJ could be pulling that.
No, he's a villain. He's so obviously a villain. Angstrom Levy. There's no gray area there.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
Yes. He's a villain just like Robot's a villain. But is he a villain because he
Yeah, he is. He played a villainous
But,
role.
but how many times have we debated whether or not?
Yeah, Angstrom,
and Cecil was right
Angstrom
about
was-
everything that he
I'd
that
say
he
Angstrom
told.
was 90% villain.
Yeah, he's a villain.
Whereas
he's a villain.
whereas Rex is a little bit more gray. Angstrom, the entire series was known as a villain.
Yeah,
like his
he's
character
villainous.
was a villain.
He is a villainous. He's a villain. I'm not going to choose Angstrom Levy. This is question number 7 that I'm on.
Yeah.
Say,
Do we
you
ask
know
if,
your question?
Do we ask if this character was ever on the Guardians of the Globe?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Was this character ever on the Guardians of the Globe?
No.
What?
Fuck.
And your guess is?
We're on
No,
9?
we're not.
You're on 10.
7,
Oh.
8, 9.
No.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
7,
5, 6,
8,
7,
9.
9.
Who started?
Yeah, I
Who
started.
was the first question?
I started. So Bill's 10.
You're 10.
I'm final guess?
Yeah.
Right. I keep track.
You just said we
Or
were
you-
10. What do you mean you keep track?
I said we're on 10 now, and I said,
Oh,
what is
yeah.
your guess? Like,
Oh.
you,
I thought you were saying that was it.
no.
I'm like, no warning.
So
Okay, let's go.
You can both guess this.
yeah, I know.
obviously.
I mean, we don't have to alternate either. We just.
So, resides on Earth.
Yep.
Not an alien.
Yep.
Is a male.
Yep.
Not necessarily a
Not
villain.
Harry.
Not Harry.
really a villain. But more hero. It's a hero, but it's kind of gray.
Do you look like a human? No, was the answer.
Before issue 50.
That doesn't help at all.
Really?
Yeah. Because after issue 50
I
gets
hope
into
somebody.
more alien
I hope
realm,
somebody at home is listening to this and knows.
he wouldn't choose Angstrom. That's too obvious.
Maybe that's why he chose him.
Do you want to choose Angstrom?
Do we have a?
We don't have a better
There's
guess.
Powerplex, but he
wouldn't do
looks like a
powerful.
human,
Yeah.
and he would say that Angstrom doesn't look like a human because his head's deformed.
He doesn't look human.
Does Cecil look human?
Yes. Yes, he does.
And Cecil's.
You can't play this game, TJ.
No, I'm playing this game right. You guys are messing this up. I'm helping you. You were about to guess Cecil. Does he look human? Yes, he does. So it's not Cecil.
No,
is
I
it?
wasn't. I
Nobody
wasn't gonna
said
guess
Cecil.
Cecil. No, I wasn't gonna guess Cecil.
No, neither of us even said Cecil. Why'd you bring him
Or
up?
Angstrom. I mean.
Oh, I thought. Oh, I guess he kind of looks human. I feel like you would kind of. Do that,
I don't
though.
know.
He doesn't look
Like,
human. He wouldn't walk down the street.
Someone on Earth that's a male. That's a villain.
Oh, D.A. Sinclair. He doesn't look human, or he looks human. Dang it.
Yeah. He's a villain. Resides on Earth, not an alien. Does not look human. I think that it would be a play with him that if it were Robot or Rex, but I think it's Rudy. I think that it's Robot while he was in the tube.
I disagree, but go for it because I wouldn't call him a villain before issue 50. But go for it because we need to give an answer. So
I think that it's Rudy in the tube.
Is that your 10th guess?
Yes.
It's not.
Answer.
Reaniman.
Reaniman. All right.
How? Okay.
They're not alien. They don't look human.
They're cyborg.
They are villains with a shade of gray because they're used for good. Yes, they are used for good. Cecil uses them for good.
So how are they villains at all?
What do you mean?
Wouldn't you say that they're
Because they were used as villains in the second issue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more villain than hero.
Right.
You think so?
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's almost equal now.
You were close
Issue
with D.A.
50,
Sinclair, though, man.
I know.
Issue
I don't know
50,
how we guessed D.A. Sinclair without getting to Reaniman, but I think I don't. I guess I'm thinking of single characters, not like
Right.
an army. That's like
I
saying,
was going to say
that's
a
like,
Reaniman
that's like
because I
saying-
figured you would say
It's like saying a
yeah.
Flaxon.
Yeah.
Like
they were. It was
Yeah.
originally going to be the technicians,
the technicians.
but I wasn't. I'm sure that they were in 3 issues, but I just couldn't think
They
of
were.
the third one.
They were in 3.
They were in
The newest one.
one of the
Fix
newest
Me.
ones. They were in issue 60, and I can't remember if they were in what issue they were in before that.
Yeah.
I know that they were though.
Okay, yours, Ryan.
Mine.
Do you want to go?
One of you go first.
Go.
Is it a male?
No.
Do you reside on Earth?
Yes.
Are you human?
Yes.
Do you have superpowers?
Yes.
Are they used for good?
Yes.
So a girl that lives on Earth that has superpowers that is a hero.
You have 5 questions, so now you're on your 6th question.
Have you been a part of the Guardians of the Globe or the Teen Team?
Yes. That's 6.
Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
are you currently in a relationship?
Yes.
I know who it
That's
is.
7.
I know who it is.
Who do you think it is?
I think that it could be Duplicate. But we need to ask more questions. You're in a relationship. What female heroes do we know that are currently in a relationship? That resides on Earth.
And you have 3 more questions, and one of them has to be a guess.
Okay, so we have 2 more questions.
Has this person ever had a relationship with Rexplode?
Yes.
It could be Eve.
No. Resides on Earth. Eve resides on Telescria.
I guess technically, yes. Now they do, yeah. She does.
Are you?
We have. I mean, we could guess.
We could guess,
and we still have more.
Do you want to make it a little bit more like a broader question, though, to like swing it in the other direction? Do you have any relatives?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a guess.
This is your 10th question.
It's duplicate.
This is 10 already?
It's duplicate.
Is it duplicate?
Yes.
Nailed it. I don't know why I knew that right off the bat.
I think it gets easier the more we play because you kind of know the questions you're going to ask. Because the first couple of games we played, we don't quite know the type of questions to ask.
Right.
And I think I gave you an easy one.
You did give us an easy one. Duplicate was a lot easier than Reanimin or Doc Seismic. You could have gotten Doc Seismic.
I should have. That's going back. I really should.
So was Duplicate. She's been in
and
more
kind of
than
Reanimin. Yeah, but Duplicate is pretty
They're
recent
both
too.
like before issue 100. Reanimin, Duplicate were both like
and
before
Doc Seismic.
and Doc Seismic.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So we'll see how that game goes. Let us know if you want us to play more of it. And if you have a name for it other than guess that Invincible character, because that doesn't really roll off the tongue, let us know. I think that's just about it for this episode, except for our giveaway. We're going to talk a little bit about our giveaway now. So we got 2 of those, like TJ said at the beginning of the episode, 2 of those Skybound mini mystery packs, and we want to give 2 of them away to 2 different people. And what we decided was we want to hear from you. We want to hear how you think Invincible will end. So write us an email, send us a message on wherever, and let us know how you think Invincible will end. It doesn't have to be like long. Just preferred if it wasn't super long, because we'll probably read it on the show, read our favorite, and it could be kind of fun too. Have fun with it. Like it can be
fan
goofy.
fiction.
Yeah, just kind of like a fan fiction thing. It can be funny. It can be serious. It can be what you actually think is going to happen, what you hope will happen, and we're going to pick our 2 favorites, and we'll read them on the air, and we're going to send you one of these packs for the the Skybound minis, and yeah.
The idea is that it could be like apples to apples. Like it could be the most ridiculous thing in the whole wide world.
Yeah, if you want to make it that
could
way.
still be amazing, and you could win. So
and we want to pick 2 winners. So you got a chance. Send us them. We're gonna pick them. Between now and next new issue. So next month we're gonna announce the winners, and unfortunately we have to keep it in the United States only because shipping. And yeah. I think it'll be fun, and I'd love to hear what everybody thinks about the end, and get creative with it if you want. And we're gonna pick our 2 favorites. So, wow,
long episode.
Yeah,
very fun.
Yeah, we had a good time. So, before we end our 25th, giant size episode, thank you to all of our listeners. We've gone, almost a year now, and we haven't missed a single. We release every other Friday. We haven't missed a single one. 25, I mean, this is pretty exciting for us. We, said in the very beginning that even if we didn't really get any listeners on the show, we would still do it, even if there's only a couple people out there even. But this has been a blast, and, so thank you to all the listeners out there, and,
Truly, we have enough listeners to, justify us continuing to go, other than us just sitting in a room. And I'm super grateful because I have a lot of fun doing the show, and I really look forward to doing another 25.
Yeah.
So
we can do a giant size episode 50.
It'd be even more giant size. It'd be a 2-parter.
Mm-hmm. And that actually will happen before
we should do a reboot episode.
A reboot episode?
Yeah, we should do a reboot episode.
I was listening to our first one,
really?
And it was not good.
Yeah. I'm sure we're still growing, and we've learned a lot, and hopefully we're getting better, and hopefully the show gets better and better as we go. So thank you all for listening. Again, thank you, Bill. Thank you, TJ.
Thank you.
This was fun, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Laters on the men, Jay.
Joining me right now is my wife, Katie.
Hi.
And how are you doing, Katie?
I'm great. How are you, Sid?
I'm good.